Today we are talking about common mistakes people often make when they draw noses. Well, that's all very well if you're drawing a cartoon, but in reality nobody's features have outlines, otherwise we'd all look like this.
Well, I actually think you look better like that, but how do you go about drawing a more realistic nose, Sandra?
So I use various techniques to draw noses. Sometimes in a sketch I'll just stick with a hatching and I really don't bother blending at all. But for this demo I'm going to draw a bit more realistically. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll really loosely indicate the overall shape of the nose. And you can see I'm holding my pencil quite lightly here.
What's that you're using? You've got like a handle thing there.
Yeah, when my pencils sort of wear down, it means it's like a pencil extender basically. So it means you can use them for longer. So yeah, I'm just sort of lightly holding it at the end. And then once I'm happy with the shape, I'll start defining the shapes of the darkest areas. So then I'm starting here to hatch in some really light shadows. So just the lightest ones for now. And it's important not to go too dark here because, you know, you're just starting with the lightest ones and you'll work your way up to the darker ones. And you've got to look at the shapes beneath the nose. So it's not just like a nose-shaped lump on your face. Everyone has a different structure underneath, and it's taking notice of those subtle shadows that they create that will make all the difference to a drawing. So once I've finished my lightest shadows, then I'll start to define the darker ones. But as you can see, I've kind of left the white of the paper as the highlights. And I really love drawing sort of bigger noses, you know, like the hooked noses and the big bulbous noses, because they're so much more interesting to draw. Can you guess, Tara, who this nose belongs to, by the way?
It's not mine, is it?
No, it's not yours.
Then no, I don't know. Whose is it?
It's a very famous actress.
Right.
SJP,
She's
of
singer.
course. SJP.
SJP. Who's
Sarah,
SJP?
who's SJP? Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh.
She's got a fantastic nose to draw. Really, really good. Yeah, so here I'm going in with a cotton bud, and the reason I'm doing this is because it starts to sort of blend those pencil lines and smooths them out. So that starts to make it look even more realistic. It kind of starts to look here more like skin as opposed to a drawing.
So you almost can't see your pencil marks since you've done that, can you?
You're kind of just subtly blending them together, and that you can see the difference that makes, can't you? I mean,
Yeah,
you can leave them as sketchy hatching lines, which is what the previous sketches were like, but here I'm sort of obviously trying to render it to be even more realistic. And you can just go in as often as you need to just keep redefining and blending. And then finally what I'll do is I'll redefine the darkest areas. And of course the main one will be underneath the nose.
Do you mean the bottom edge?
Yeah, and in a minute you'll see that I'm going to darken that further still, and you'll be able to see the difference that makes. Because when you go underneath, you've got to remember the nose is obviously sticking out from the face, and by really darkening that edge beneath where I'm doing that now, you can see it'll suddenly start looking like it's protruding. It's amazing, isn't it, the difference that makes?
Yeah, it does lift it.
Yeah, it does. It sort of makes it feel like it's sticking out. So that'll always be the darkest area, because obviously no light's getting down there really.
And I suppose it depends which way the light is coming, quite how that
Well,
shadow
yeah,
looks.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're standing, on top of the sun.
Like you
It's-
normally do.
No, it's just observation, isn't it? It really is. You can see, you can go on and on and on doing this and make it as realistic as you like, but that basically is how I would go about drawing a nose in a pencil portrait, and I think it's quite effective. That's my torchon, by the way. And that's just to blend that final outer edge at the bottom, because it's obviously sharper than a cotton bud, so it means I can be more I can be more exact where I want to
Precise.
go. Yeah, precise, that's the word I'm looking for.
Those torchons, can you just keep reusing those? Do you have to sharpen them? What do you do with them?
You keep using them. What I do, I don't even know what you're supposed to do with them, but occasionally I'll go in with a Stanley knife and just scrape off and make it back into a point when it
Right.
starts getting a bit frayed. What do you think?
Beautiful.
Why not check out our previous videos, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss your Art Kick Sunday. Meanwhile, you can check out our podcast and find the creative challenges we have coming up at www.kickinthecreatives.com. Back soon.